On this, let's bring in former House Speaker Newt Gingrich. I think that's a head scratcher. I think if Mitch McConnell is offering you the chance to fix the very issue that could prevent this from ever happening again, you should take it. But I'm not a strategist. You are. What do you think?
Well, first of all, there's no evidence that Vice President Pence was confused. He did exactly what the Constitution suggested. He served essentially to simply transmit the results. But I think if they want to clarify it, that's fine. The problem is the Democrats, I think, believe if they don't find a way to steal the election, they can't compete. That's why you had the New York City Council making it legal for people who are illegally here, who are not citizens, to vote in city elections. That's why you see this desperate effort in the Senate right now. The three major provisions of the Senate Democratic bill are all opposed by over 80% of the American people, including African Americans and Latinos. People want to know who you are when you vote. People want to know that your vote will be counted, and people do not want to have ballot harvesting where people go out and gather up lots of votes and you don't know who voted and who gathered. So on every single major count, we have all sorts of polling on this. The American people oppose making it easier for politicians to steal the election. And I think that's why they're going to have, and it's going to be impossible for them, I think, to pass this bill.
They're going to give it a shot. I think they're going to end up in the same place that they are on Build Back Better, at least the original version of it. Here's what Mitch McConnell had to say about this voting rights issue in the Senate.
The fact that violent criminals broke the law does not entitle Senate Democrats to break the Senate. It is surreal to hear sitting senators invoke January the 6th to justify, listen to this, to justify breaking rules to grab outcomes they have not earned.
Do you think that Senator Manchin and Sinema will stick to their guns and not break the filibuster?
Well, we have no reason to believe they won't. I think in the case of Manchin, his popularity has gone up. Every time he's said no to left-wing Democrats, he's become more popular in West Virginia. In the case of Sinema, she's in the great tradition of Barry Goldwater and John McCain. She's a maverick. She's her own person. I think she proved when the agitators followed her into the ladies' room that she's not very easy to shake.
Yeah.
And I suspect they are where they are. I mean, Manchin was sort of toying with them the other day and said, well, we might be able to fix this one piece with the filibuster, but by the way, it would take 67 votes to fix it. Well, that was just sort of playing with Schumer and not being serious about it.
The other thing that was happening is that you have Vice President Harris, end of the year, losing staff, start of the year, losing another staffer. Some of that, I think, is natural. At the end of a first year of an administration, there are changes, but there's no doubt that there's been some havoc in her office. Take a listen to what she said about it last night.
There have been a rash of stories about dissension inside your office, inside the White House, about questions about your role. What would you say you've learned over this year?
Well, one of the things I've learned is to get out of D.C.
Mr. Speaker, what do you think?
Well, first of all, she laughs at everything, and it's a weird laugh. There's actually a website that has 10 hours of her laughing. But second, her speech yesterday where she compared January 6th to Pearl Harbor and 9/11, I think was proof that California education is even worse than we thought. It's inconceivable that you could compare a riot at the Capitol to the Japanese attack at Pearl Harbor or to the terrorists who killed almost 3,000 Americans on 9/11. And yet Harris cheerfully listed the three together as though they were the same event. And I think it just tells you how totally unfit she is to be vice president. She is vice president. They won the seat. I hope the American people learned a lesson about picking people who don't know anything.
Well, she's in charge of the voting rights legislation getting done, and they're going to go to Georgia, Atlanta, your old stomping grounds, next Tuesday. So we'll follow all of that.
She will do it. She'll do as good a job with voting rights as she's done with the border, which, remember, was her first assignment.
I remember very well. Thank you, sir.